אחר צהריים טובים לכולם. יש פה קהל נכבד. בשביל לכבד את כולם נעשה את זה באנגלית. So welcome everybody and good afternoon. My name is Eran Stiassny and I'm the CEO and founder of Cyberm8. What I want to talk to you about is redefining security operations. But before we begin and talk about how we redefine security operations, let's talk about why we need to redefine security operations. As you all know, and that's not a surprise, there's a massive increase in ransomware, breaches, threats, and so on. We see it all the time. We see it now with the Ukraine and Russian war. So, to handle these increasing threats, to handle the increasing threat landscape, enterprises deploy over 45 different security tools that help them mitigate and manage their security infrastructure. The problem is to manage those 45 and more security devices, security tools in the organization. You need to have qualified staff. You need to have qualified security engineers, and those are hard to get. It's very hard to maintain your own, not to talk about acquiring new security engineers, new experts. The problem is that those that you already have and those that you want to maintain, they are spending their time on tedious tasks instead of focusing on how to improve the security architecture. You really have to eliminate those tedious tasks and allow them to focus on what's really important in your security organization. So naturally you want to automate things, but even though automation has been around for a long while, we have DevOps team in the organization, we have existing security automation tools, right? Such as even, for example, Demisto, which was purchased by Palo Alto, or Simplified, that was purchased by Google. Creating automations within those platforms is very complex and it's very not native for the security administrator to manage. So this is what we actually come to fix. Time. Time is your valuable asset and you need to protect your assets. So what do we actually do in Cyberm8? We've developed an automation platform that focuses on the security administrator. It allows him to proactively manage IOCs. So the security platform will actually go to the different threat intels that you configure, pull this information, pull the threats, and distribute it to your security devices, to your security portfolio, to your firewalls, to your endpoints, to your proxies, and so on. And it will do it automatically on a daily basis. It will not wait for a breach to occur and then help you walk through the mitigation. We don't want to get to the mitigation. We want to prevent it beforehand. So we actually help you do that. Second thing is actually centralized management of your security infrastructure. Imagine you have a distributed site, right? You have 100, and that's actually a real use case, okay? 120 branches that each of them has their own set of proxies, but now you want to exempt some URL from the SSL decryption, right? Or maybe add a URL to the blacklist on all those 120 proxies, but those are not managed centrally. Okay, each site has a pair, and this pair is managed together, but you still have to log into 120 pair of proxies and disable a function or block some URL. So that's very time-consuming task. It can take you a few days in order to accomplish that for one URL. So having a platform where you can actually centralize, manage that, and by one click having the system go and do all of that for you is very, very valuable. Not only in time-consuming, but it also prevents human errors, which are the most critical factor in organizations' downtime. Third is actually to automate the response to any event. And I'm not only talking about incident mitigation, right? It's not, okay, something happened, somebody's attacking us, how do we prevent that? It's also what happened when we provision a new switch in the network, right? We want to access the switch automatically, check its routing table, check how many interfaces it has, and based on some logic that you can configure, decide whether you want to update a network topology map that gives us a full visibility of what's happening in our organization. What can access what, who can access where. The fourth thing is actually to automate daily tasks, right? The administrator goes into the run and he has like a list of What do you do when you go into the office every morning? So you go into the NAC and you look at the alerts in the NAC, network access control, and you see, okay, my NAC has problems accessing and communicating with switch A, with switch B, with switch C. So then you have to log in to those switches, check the community, check the configuration. And again, we actually automate all of this process by using our automation platform. And the last thing is, and I'm not talking here about complete automation, but the fact that you can now delegate tasks to different teams in the organization and actually restrict access to security devices, you can do that via our automation platform. Otherwise, whenever a SOC team needs to block some IP address, they contact the administrator and then, look, we've done the investigation and we see that this IP address is attacking us, please block this IP. Now, generally the administrator would say, okay, do it yourself. I will give you username and password to the firewall and I will restrain your access to that specific firewall group or that specific group. But you cannot do that because in most security products, generally you'll have either a full admin or a read-only. So by putting Cyberm8 Automation Platform in front of those devices, we can act like a security gateway and have a very specific set of permissions and tasks that you can allow each member of each team in your organization to run. So that brings your MTTR, or actually the time that you wait for something to be accomplished in your organization, that reduces to almost nothing. Now, imagine you have the best employee in the organization, right? And he doesn't take the time off, he doesn't take days off, he's never sick, he's never home with the kids, he's always full-time in the office. So now you want to duplicate this employee, right? What happens in real life? In real life, you have your employee, he's sick, he's at home, he's with his kids, he's working, I don't know, maybe not 9 to 5, right? But he's not working 24 hours a day. And again, those employees are very hard to get. But imagine you're sitting at home, 10 p.m., 11 p.m., you're watching Netflix, right? But you get a message in your WhatsApp, in your CISO group, saying, look, there's this IP address, and it's attacking financial organizations such as us. Please verify that you're blocking that in your firewall. So imagine you have your phone in your hand, and you open WhatsApp, and you simply send a WhatsApp message saying, please validate this IP address, and everything happens automatically, right? So basically it will look like this. It will look like this. And nothing happens. Okay, can you do another click, please? Perfect. So on the right hand, you see the bot, right? And this is the platform. So simply send validate IP 3.3.3.3. You send it to the bot. Our system actually receives that message and launches the tasks that goes through virus tunnel, validates the IP address that is sent in the WhatsApp bot, checks and reports back that it has 85 malicious URLs associated with it, and asks you, do you want to block this IP? Yes or no. So you simply reply in the message, oh, yes I do, of course I do. And the system goes onto the firewall, adds that to that firewall group, and simply reports back, okay, it's done. You can launch any automation process via WhatsApp. So you basically have the whole world in your hand. Literally, you can launch any task simply by sending a WhatsApp message. So that probably wraps it up. There are a lot of things that we can do in a platform. It's simple, it's powerful, it's flexible. You can basically accomplish any security task, any security automation in the platform. And if you want to hear more, so you can either send us an email, go to our website, or come visit us at our booth at the Startup Pavilion. So thank you very much. I'm sorry about the interruptions. You've been a great partner. Thank you.